So I am returning my 2020 MacBook Air M1, and the reason behind that is mainly because I've been having issues with it. Kind of, it's lagging on different issues. This one has the 1 TB and 8 GB model, and I found that often, actually, if I can show you right here in the activity monitor. This area, it usually comes under pressure and it becomes red, and when that happens, even when you switch tabs or when you click on a link, it actually takes time to load. So this was too frequent of an issue, and on top, they were just, it wasn't just that exciting for me, for a reason that I already have the 2011 MacBook Pro, which is working fine. I have upgraded this to SSD and 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm having no issues other than this trackpad. Actually, I'm using a replacement battery, and that when that swells, I cannot click this. But if you press it hard enough, you can actually get it working. But just to recap that, what the 2020 MacBook Air is good for. So I'm just going to sum up the few things that are kind of negative that I don't like about it. First of all, this one comes with this USB-C charger, and it's not a single hand operation. You have to kind of use two hands, hold this with one hand, and then plug this out, and it's kind of hard. Actually, you have to apply quite a bit of pressure. But on 2011 MacBook Pro, it's pretty much one hand operation. You can just take it out and plug it back in, and this is a lot more convenient. And the chances that if you pull your laptop, which is quite often, it's very common that you can actually pull your laptop, and you might damage this cable or that connector, because it's just very hard. So that's one reason that I don't like about it. The second thing that I would mention is that it has only 2 ports, and that's not really that big of a problem, but both the ports are on one side. So if you want to, if you are on one side of the couch and the charger is on one side, you can you can use this side. But if there were another port on this side, so you can actually have charge your laptop from this side, so that would be really convenient. So the benefit that you're getting from this USB-C port charging is you're not getting that benefit because it's on one side anyways. So even if it was a dedicated connector, that would probably be just fine, because you're not getting the maximum benefit of this USB-C charging port. The other thing about the charging is that this laptop actually is quite slow while charging. So this one takes about 3 hours to charge from 1% to 100%. So I think that that's pretty slow considering that we are in 2021. Another minor one is that this the Mac Air one comes with the audio port right here, the audio connector, and that's understandable because it's narrower here, so there's no space here, and in here it's thicker, so you can actually accommodate it here. But it's kind of not super convenient, because I would really like to have this one in here. So if you are looking for this feature, then go for the Pro model, which actually well, actually I'm not even sure that port is right here or in here, but I think that it would be more convenient if it was closer to where you are. So that's kind of a quick recap of why I'm returning this. The other thing that didn't work for me, it was that I was using the 2011 MacBook Pro, and I used that for 10 years. And I came back to this one, which is exactly the same screen, 13.3 inches. So there was nothing new for me. There wasn't anything exciting for me. So that's one reason that, there wasn't that exciting factor for me. The other thing that you might want to consider, and that's something that if you're considering that from developer point of view or programming point of view, so this screen does not give you any more real estate than this one. So pretty much you are seeing here, you're going to be seeing exactly the same thing, although this one has about 4 times or 3 times more resolution. This one is Retina display and this one is a standard display, but you're going to see exactly the same thing on both the laptops. So it's not gonna give you any more real estate, even though this one has up to, I believe, 4 times more pixel than this one, which is a big deal. And because of that, when you're making videos, this is going to require much stronger processor. This one, even though the processor is 10 years old, but it still does a decent job because the resolution is low. The other thing that I noticed is that while transferring data using this port, which is the USB-C and very, very fast, and compare that with this, with the ports here, and I have a bunch of ports here, but I tried the USB, which is the USB 2 version. So I copied, I think it was about 1.5 gigabyte file, and this one took 30 seconds, and this one took 50 seconds. So it wasn't really, that big of a difference. So I thought, why would I spend extra $1,300 on this one? The other drawback of this one is that, it does not have significant ports. So basically, when you want to connect a USB, you have to use a connector like this, and that's just, another thing that when you use a connector like this, usually they are not as fast as the real MacBook Pro, the internal hardware there. So automatically, just by using this connector, you're actually compromising on the speed. So even though this is a USB-C and really high-end, but since you're using this external hub, its speed may not be as good as this one. So really, there is no point that you're already compromising on the USB-C, because you might be getting a USB 2 speed from the USB 3 port just because you don't have the USB connector directly there. So these are some of the negative points that I have experienced, and that's the reason that I'm going to return. I think there are 2 more days left, but I'm just going to return this today. And I hope that this is helpful to you. And also in terms of, when we're talking about programming, because that's something that I used my laptop for. So my I think this is 2016 or 15 1080p laptop, which provides a lot more real estate than this one, even though this one has higher resolution, a lot more pixels, and this one has lower resolution. But since this is 1080p, you can view your emails more, in a friendly way. You can see you can have 2 windows open side by side. On this one, you can't. From productivity point of view, this one actually feels better. So when I actually work on this one, I feel better because, especially for work, I can see a lot more screen. I can have more windows open. So even though speed-wise, this one is definitely faster, and this one is heavier and slower, but even with that, just because it has a bigger screen and 1080p screen, that actually works better for me. So that's the reason that I am returning this laptop, and I'm going to stick with my 2011 Pro for maybe another year, or maybe till June when the new ones are released, and I'll use this one for my work. Thank you for watching.